The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome back. I'm Sevilla Beam, and I'm here with Alexander Joyce. We're learning more about his book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement. And we want to talk about chapter 14. It's about preparing your leave-on money. Yeah. And I know we've talked about this a little bit, the live-in or leave-on money. So tell us a little bit more about the differences there and a little bit more about what we can find in this chapter.
Sure. You know what? I'm happy you brought that up. And this is it's more of an emotional chapter, right? And I think that what people enjoy about this book, and really the reason I wrote it, is because there's a lot of great books out there. This one, what I've done is I've gathered literally years and years and years of stories, and years of just asking questions and understanding a lot and being a good listener, right, Sevilla? I mean, that's important.
Very important.
Very important. Listening. Once my mentor once said, when somebody asks you what time it is, make sure you tell them not how the watch is built, just tell them what time it is. And at the same time, he also said, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Are you listening or are you waiting to talk? And those things in life went a long way to me. He also said that my mentor I speak of, we used to do this. He hired me a long time ago. He's a little older than I am. He's 85. And so
a lot of wisdom to pass on.
A lot of wisdom, and I'm a good listener, and I love it. And I love just having tea with him, or a cup of coffee, or lunch, or brunch, and just talking. And because he gave me really my first big start in finance. And once he retired, he actually came to work at the firm, and I had him around a little bit more mainly for gray hair, right? No, I'm kidding. But he's a great guy. And one thing he said in terms of how it relates to the book, kind of principles to why I wrote this chapter, was he said, as your clients get older, okay, and a lot will leave on, right? They'll be called home, if you will. And he said, you're going to be left to deal with that. And he also said that, him being an older man, in his words, he's a little older. He said that when your clients are out there and they're searching for a doctor, they probably won't look for a doctor their same age or older, because maybe they'll leave before they leave. They want good advice, and they want them to make sure they're there to be taken care of. He said, as it relates to their financial advisor, make sure they look at that the same exact way, right? And you stop and think about that. And he once said again, some of your clients are going to leave before you do, and you're going to be left to deal with that. And so as I built my practice, as I built the firm, and we start to really consider a holistic approach, and understanding that most people that we speak to have no estate plan. Most people that we speak to have no idea how taxes affect their retirement. Most people we speak to know there's a deficit, and they have no idea and no confidence to make sure that they're not going to outlive their money, no matter how much they got, right? They know that they have a lifestyle, and they know they're going to keep up with that lifestyle, and they know that 9 times out of 10 when they retire, they're going to roll that money into an IRA, they're going to have multiple accounts, and they're going to put their finger on the biggest one, and that's the one they're going to start to draw from. And we ask them why, and they say, well, it's the biggest. It's going to last the longest. That's not a plan, right? And so when we look at the legacy aspect of it, it's going to be up to us to be able to execute those wishes. It's going to be the advisor that they chose, the firm that they trusted, to be able to do what's right for them and carry forward what they wanted from that original first meeting decades later.
Sure, and I think it goes back to, just like you said, making sure you're listening, because that's the only way you're going to figure out the true goals of somebody. And I think it also, drives home the importance of making sure that you're taking care of the next generation as well, because there's going to be a lot of questions that arise when you leave a legacy, depending on the assets there and how are we going to take care of them, and what's the taxable, what are those liabilities there for anybody that's being passed on to. So that's, I think all of that goes into the financial picture. It's not just about getting yourself into retirement. It's about planning, like you said, we're planning for the long haul.
It is. This is, when you talk to somebody, that's 70, 80, 90 years old, one of the common themes I always hear them say is they say, make sure you tell people, or make sure you know, and I know this for sure. They would say, it's really hard to make all this money, or it's really hard to do this, and it's really hard to keep it. And so that right there is a story all by itself.
Yes.
Maybe that's the next book.
Yes, there you go. All right, well, if you've got questions about your own legacy or how that's going to factor into your retirement, reach out to Alex's office, schedule an appointment with him, and leave with a free copy of his book. Thanks so much. We'll be right back.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Do you remember this? How about that? Do you remember? The journey to retirement hasn't always been easy. I'm Alexander Joyce. Let us build a retirement plan you can rely on, a financial plan that gives you confidence and peace of mind, a legacy plan that protects them, and let us start that process today. And let us help you rejoice in your retirement. I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.